didn movie reviews.
Salutations and mutilations. You're listening to Otherworldly Culture presents Didn Movie Reviews. Tonight, we will present horror movie reviews and lively debate here on otherworldlyculture.com and on future select Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 7 p.m. Central Time. Are you aware of that? That's like small talk. You can join our live chat at the time by clicking on the live shows link on the otherworldlyculture.com website. I'm your host, Tim Kretschmann. There it goes. Coming to you from the land of lakes and landfills, beautiful and smelly Muskego, Wisconsin, it's my honor to introduce the Faculty of Fear for tonight's program. All right, starting, hailing from the Motor City, Detroit, Michael Cieslak is a lifetime reader and writer of horror, mystery, and speculative fiction. He eats poutine. And we're shortening the intro.
Or poutine.
That's it.
Poutine.
He reads, he writes, he eats poutine. He's an everyman.
Poutine is the version that astronauts eat.
Yeah, it's got a nice, subtle orange.
Michael is a kilt enthusiast, and he's killing it over at the dragonsroost.net. Michael Cieslak.
Good evening, everyone. And yes, I have had poutine while wearing a kilt.
Wow. Impressive.
That's a twofer.
That's
a twofer.
That's a twofer.
And
that was the most Wisconsin thing I ever heard right there.
And
you know it.
And it's Tuesday. 2 for Tuesday. Go ahead.
Fantastic. Why don't you have another? Do you want another Cheeto?
No, I'm good.
Okay, good.
I'm good.
Jeff Miller is a sports broadcaster and news reporter in the Milwaukee area. Jeff has interviewed celebrities on the red carpets at the Grammys and athletes in the dugout. His enthusiastic style has given Dead on the Bases, Otherworldly Culture's latest podcast, a sporting chance. He's the ump, Jeff Miller.
Hi.
Okay. Right. Okay, I'll keep it simple for Mr. Exler. Mikey Exler is back again today. He's the denizen of the dismal. He's the purveyor of the putrid. That exciting exclaimer of glorious gloom wrestling up from his stony tomb. He's the monster of the mad, ghoul of the glad, and that sack of mumbling, moaning pus that barfs out baloney. He's one, and there are many, but he's our very own panel-purveying provocateur. He's Coach Michael Exler.
Hi, Tim. Thank you for having me on this wonderful program. I'm thankful to be on with such horror enthusiasts and Jeff.
Thanks.
Yes. Our token sports boy on the show. Oh, my God. Don't worry. We're going to pick on you throughout tonight's show.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, everybody. Keep your ass in your seat. Sharpen your pencil. And let's get unruly with the Faculty of Fear. You guys ready? We are going to start with Mike Cieslak. What have you been watching?
I have been watching something because of something that happened last week, which was the 75th birthday of a little writer you may have heard of named Stephen King. He's had a number of different movies. This guy here was in one of them, and this guy here was in one of them. And then if you look on the sleeves here, you can see some of his other movies. And then there's some
when they don't disappear.
Yes, it's a phantom thing. But anyway, I watched Dr. Sleep, which, so I get the camera to focus on this, it pops in and out, which is the sequel to The Shining. We're going to make you guys literature buffs, whether you like it or not. I kind of went back and forth. I was like, what movie should I watch? Should I watch something that's absolutely like balls to the wall crazy? Like, I don't know, Maximum Overdrive, which is always a great time because it's just so goofy. And that is, That's the product of the 80s
Yeah,
right there.
you know, there's a rumor that maybe Mr. King was playing around a little bit with the nose candy.
I've heard that rumor.
That's a little rumor I've heard. It's
Or
probably
and then I was like, well, maybe I should just watch something that I really, really like. And then I couldn't narrow it down. So I thought, why don't I watch one that I haven't seen before? And I was able to find Dr. Sleep. If you like The Shining, you're going to have a lot of fun with some of the references that pop up in this movie. It is a direct sequel to The Shining. Oh, I just lost a light here. Hope you guys can still see me.
Wait a minute, though. Is it a direct sequel to the book The Shining or the movie? Because they're very different.
The book is a sequel to the book. The movie has a lot more of a nod to the Kubrick version specifically.
Okay.
And now I need to do a shout out to Alex Esso, who is so much like Shelley Duvall in the flashbacks that we have. She is just the windy character, even sounds like her in some of the different scenes. My light keeps flicking on and off. This is going to be fun.
It doesn't look as bad on this end, so just
that's good.
Soldier
That's
through.
good.
Soldier through.
It's just a matter of suddenly I can't see my notes anymore.
That's all right. We're not reading them. Oh,
you
are. Well, you should know what you wrote down now. Come on.
I should, but
Yeah.
you know. We get some nice flashbacks. We get in clip was on there a moment ago. You can see little Danny riding through the Overlook again.
Yeah. They
Some
got
of these
things
are
to
flashbacks.
match.
Some of these are dream sequences.
Yeah.
And then we get to meet current day. Well, no, let me take that back. We get to meet an older Danny Torrance, who is played by this, what's his name? Ewan McGregor. He's been in a couple other things. I don't know.
I've heard of this gentleman.
He's something about space, and it's on Disney or something. I don't know what it is. But he's actually really, really good in this. We see him at rock bottom, just a complete and total alcoholic who's about to steal money from the purse of his one-night stand who has a kid, and he's like fighting back and forth with himself. He gets clean, he gets sober. Of course, the reason he's drinking is to stop the shine. And then we meet another group called the Knot, which are right there. There they are. Look there. Oh, they disappeared. Kind of this.
You gotta watch fast.
Traveling group of almost psychic vampires who find kids who have powers similar to what Danny had when he was a kid, and they suck their essence out. And of course, pain and fear make it all the sweeter. So they kind of torture these kids. So if you're not a big fan of child endangerment, you might want to pass on this one. I thought it was great.
I could have guessed.
Stab the little kid. That's awesome. Yay!
You had me at sequel to Shining. Probably not a family watch. This is not. Do not pair this with Fantasia. Is that what you're saying?
That is exactly what I'm saying. Yes.
All right. Thank you. I was just about to name that as my double feature of the week. Okay.
The main, or like the leader of the Knot is Rose the Hat, played by Rebecca Ferguson, who is really, really good in it. I think she was just in Dune, the one that was out just recently.
Okay.
What surprised me, because I'm, child actors sometimes not the greatest. Kylie Curran, who played Abra Stone, who's the other main character.
Okay.
Phenomenal little actor. Just amazing job playing a teenager who has psychic powers that are so huge that A, she can reach across the country and talk to Torrance in his mind, and B, the people in the Knot are like just salivating over her. Like if they can get her essence, they're going to be set for years and years and years.
Yummylicious.
Not going to give away too much more than that.
Okay.
There's a lot of psychic showdowns. Like I said, a lot of nods to the Kubrick's The Shining.
Now, I haven't watched Kubrick's The Shining probably in 20 years. It's been a while since I watched the Shining mini-series that I'm told is much more like the book. It's been a long time. Do I need to reacquaint myself before watching this?
You will get everything you need will pop back into your head with they give you ample stuff there. I'm actually not a very big fan of Kubrick's Shining. I prefer the miniseries because author likes to have the stuff that's closer to the book. But I do.
That is weird.
I like that. At least in my mind, the Jack Torrance character, this is about seeing his descent into madness and alcoholism, and this is where everything comes from. Where, when Jack comes on screen, he just automatically looks crazy. So there's no real descent into madness there.
Right.
He just looks nuts from the get-go.
That's a really good impression there.
I was gonna say that was the worst.
It sounded good to me.
There's a great.
You weren't
scene.
watching the screen.
Well, that's why it maybe sounded so good. I'm looking up The Shining because when you're talking about Kubrick's Shining, is that the one that I know of from Jack Nicklaus?
Yes, that is
Jack
the one
Nicholson?
that you know.
No, not Jack Nicklaus. Jack Nicklaus was a golfer.
And
sports nut.
And one more thing, when you say Kubrick, you mean Stanley Kubrick, the same one that does Clockwork Orange, right?
Yes.
Yes.
No, his cousin we're talking about.
Oh.
His cousin Derek.
Okay.
Derek
All right.
Then
Thanks.
there
Thanks,
is
Axel.
an interesting scene with Danny and the person that they have, kind of like the Jack stand-in. So his talking to his dad, who's appeared as Lloyd the bartender, and it's a very emotional scene where he is tempted to drink after being sober for a long time.
Okay.
And the way that McGregor conveys this torment and like the longing, how much he really does want to have that drink.
Oh, yeah.
And then doesn't, just through his facial expressions, and the scene of about maybe 30 seconds to a minute was just spectacular.
Now,
That's an underrated actor, in my opinion.
I just realized how long it's been since I saw The Shining because you said Lloyd the bartender, and in my head, I've been watching too much MeTV because Floyd the barber showed up in my head.
So
You have been watching too much Me Too.
I have. Yeah.
So you get a pass because that's completely different.
Right.
And I get lambasted because I said Jack Nicklaus?
That's how it works.
Yes,
Wow.
that's how
That's
it
how it
works,
works.
unfortunately.
Wow.
Yeah,
If you had
sorry,
said
Jeff.
a Jack that wasn't sports related, you
Okay.
might
You
have
would
been
have got
able
a
to
little further.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds fair.
That's right.
Like Jack Lemmon?
That's right.
Yeah, so we were like, yeah, Jack
Okay.
Lemmon,
Lemon
yeah,
would
that's
be
fine.
better.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready to grade, or you still have a few more
I
points?
have a little bit of theatrics before we grade
Ooh.
because I was fortunate enough to go
hold
to the
on. You're
Stanley
being
Hotel this
theatric.
year.
Hold on. I'm gonna do a zoom in for everybody.
Cool.
I think it's supposed to be zooming in right about now. There it goes.
There we go.
I went to the Stanley Hotel this year, which is what the Overlook is based on. So I'm going to get my little.
Nice.
And this says Red Rum if you're not having it reversed in the camera. And then I'll just pour this into my shot glass with room 217, which is the correct one in the book, as opposed to room 237.
Wow.
And despite the fact that this movie is all about Ewan McGregor and his struggle against alcoholism, I'm going to give it a toast.
All right.
All right.
Good for you. A little theatrics goes a long way on this show. So let's bring up the grade book. I think it should come any day now.
That's what she said.
Look at that. There we go.
It just didn't want to get off the close-up. It's like, hey,
No,
this
no.
that's right here.
All right, what are you grading this bad boy?
This is a solid A. There,
Really?
the only thing that might detract from it a little bit, for some people, there's some CGI special effects in the background that are kind of like, meh, and it is long. It is 2 hours and change.
What?
It is, he said. I had it up and consulting the Oracle here.
Yes.
What is apparently the world's 2 hours and 32 minutes.
Yikes! That's a
Oh, that's
mini
long.
series.
I did watch this over 2 days.
Okay.
That's what I do with one of those.
Mostly because the wife came home and I was like, oh crap, I'll make you dinner. Hold on just a sec.
Okay.
So let me ask you guys this. I mean, obviously you gave this movie an A and you really liked it, but you said it was a little long. Is there like a sweet spot for a movie that you really like? Maybe an hour 45, 2 hours?
25 minutes for my Twilight Zone.
This one didn't seem long to me.
Oh,
I could have
okay.
sat through this one the whole way. In
There you
fact,
go.
I usually take copious notes while I'm doing a movie for the podcast here,
Uh-huh.
and I completely forgot to after about 45 minutes.
Because you were so
I
into
usually
it.
have about
I-
5 or 6 pages of notes per movie. I've got a page and a half.
Okay. All right.
I will say, in general, horror movies, the longer they go, I think is a problem because you got to get to that scare, and once you get to the scare, you need to just end the movie. That is like when they linger after the scare, like Night of the Living Dead, I think does it perfect. The big scare is right at the end, and you go into the credits. Blair Witch Project, right to the scare, boom, out of there. When these things like linger after the scare,
Okay.
you know, it just doesn't work for me.
But what about movies that they're scary all the way through?
There's no such thing.
Okay.
I was
Well,
gonna say, and the other issue too is if you delay the scare for too long, it can be hard to maintain suspense throughout an extended period of time like that.
okay.
But I think this one did it admirably.
Great.
Fantastic. Okay, we're going to switch gears here, and we're going to find out what piece of crap Jeff has been watching.
How is it even a piece of crap? It's a horror movie. You guys love horror movies.
You seem to have bad choices.
You're right.
You make bad choices on a regular basis,
Well,
and then you go, I don't like horror movies, and we're like, yeah, look at what you picked.
okay.
So let's see what piece of garbage you picked this time.
Well, I can preface that. I chose the movie 13 Hours Night Wolf, but there's another movie called 13 Hours, and that's how it gets a little confusing. That's more of a military film, but so you have
Yeah.
to look this one up as Night Wolf, and then you'll get the 13 Hours. See, the original title is 13 Hours, but I think they must have run into some sort of problem with it, or they were having a hard time getting people to watch it because they thought it was something else,
Or it could have sucked.
or which
I-
it kind of
Heard,
did.
Jeff, this is news to me.
What, this movie?
Yeah, I've never heard of it before.
All right. Well,
Thank you,
strap
Mike.
in.
Okay,
so
tell us about Night Wolf, Jeff.
I will, but I want to first let you guys know why
There
I
we go.
picked this movie, because why would I
There we
pick a
go.
movie that looks like the cover of this movie box? But anyways, so on Twitter, there's this
Red box.
no, there's this this person on Twitter. His handle is Sluts and Guts. All right, so there's usually pictures of women, but they're all clothed. I mean, you get Samantha Fox, you
Then
have
why look at this?
anyways, and you get some horror stuff too. It's all on Otherworldly Cultures. We follow them.
Yeah.
But so Gemma Atkinson popped up, and I'm like, wow, she's really pretty. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pick, and she's in a horror movie, so I'm gonna pick a horror movie with her in it, thinking, all right, we're gonna see little Gemma.
Just pick
Atkinson.
anything. Right.
Right, and this has been kind of my downfall for my whole life. I've
whole
followed
life.
I've followed pretty women to the wrong areas. So I mean, I can remember going to in-person registration at UW Milwaukee, and I saw a girl in a line for a class, and I'm like, wow, I'm gonna get to meet her. So I take the class, and the class is terrible. I've got to drop it after a while because the class sucks or I'm failing. But it's all because I was drawn in by, like, Well, what happened? Mermaids. Mermaids are a perfect example. They're sirens. They draw you in, and then once you get there, they kill you. So that's pretty much my downfall. My whole life, I follow these women different places, thinking it's going to be great, and it sort of sucks.
Oh, we should flag the tape for his wife. I think.
Well, no, my wife's a different story.
Okay.
So anyway, Gemma Atkinson.
You're digging this grave for yourself. So
yeah, well,
okay.
It is a horror movie show.
Yeah. Okay.
Show. So anyways, whatever. So Sarah Tyler, who is played by Isabella Calthorpe.
Yeah, Calthorpe.
Yep. She returns home to Britain, England, whatever you want to give it a call. And she's been in LA. She has been away from her family for so long. She comes in and sees her dad, and her dad's like, "Hey, your brothers and some friends are out in the barn." That's where Gemma is. Gemma's one of her friends.
Okay.
Gemma's hot. All right, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, this movie's gonna get a rating just because of her. And so
Talking about someone's grandma. It's weird.
What's that?
Like Gemma. Sounds like you're talking about someone's grandma with that name.
No, it is not a grandma.
No,
I'm looking at the picture.
Yeah.
She's lovely.
Yeah. We'll call her by her name in the movie, Emily. So Emily and Sarah's brothers are all in the barn, partying, having a good time, drinking, doing weed, just partying it up, right? And they have a broken down Jeep in there. Well, the power goes out.
Oh, there's a Jeep in the movie.
Yeah.
Of course,
so there
Jeff
you go.
likes it. I'm gonna before you go any further. We're looking at the IMDb page right now.
Yeah.
This is a warning IMDb page.
Why?
Should I tell you why?
Why?
You look at the top cast.
Yeah.
In the top 8 people, 3 people don't have a photograph. That means they probably didn't stay in the business all that long. And they frankly don't care if anybody knows if they were in a movie, particularly when it's the stars of your film. That should be a warning when that happens.
Or it was the neighbor.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Go on.
No, that's fine. So they're all in the barn. The power goes out, and then they want to get back to the house because the power went out and they think they should get back to the house where the dad is. And that's when something starts stalking them in the house. I'm not going to give away any kind of spoilers because I did that in the last time I did this, and it's never fun for anyone who wants to see this movie. But so the dad's dead, and they're like, "Uh-oh, something's up." So they're going through the house, and all of a sudden, whatever's coming after them, which it's a werewolf. That's not giving anything away.
Well, it's called Night Wolf.
Yes, but
yeah. That's probably why they call it 13 hours.
But the thing of it is that you really don't see this Night Wolf. You never really see it. You see it through the Night Wolf's eyes. You see that it's red and it's like garbled, and you can see that it's looking at them. Well,
what? It's called Night Wolf, and you don't see the wolf?
No. Well, you do, but I can't tell you when. Otherwise, I'll be giving it away. But anyways, so they chase these kids. They chase them all up into the attic. And you think that, okay, why don't you just sit there and wait out the 13 hours? They have to wait till daylight, basically. So just wait it out, right? No, they figure they have to go get some sort of help. So
maybe they needed to get Cheetos.
One by one, they try to go down and make a phone call or get a gun. And it just, everything seems to backfire on them. And backfire is a little bit of a little foreshadowing there for my poor girl, Gemma. But anyways,
she's hot.
Yeah, she is.
So when you set her on fire, is she?
No,
hotter?
that didn't happen. So anyways, they try to make it through the night. Some of them do, some of them don't. They get to the point where they're going to get out on the roof, and I'm still not giving anything away. You have to get to all these points. You got to connect the dots. And the local police come up, and the police come up, and I feel it's hard. You know what? I got to give each of you guys credit because when you review these movies, you do such a good job, and I'm like struggling because I don't want to give away too much. This is a good horror flick in the fact that it's because the ending is what's gonna tie everything together.
Wait, hold on, no, Jeff.
What?
You called me 10 minutes into the movie and said, I don't think I'm going to make it.
No, I didn't.
What made it so scary in the first 10 minutes?
The music did.
The music did?
Yes.
Okay.
The music. I was freaked out because I watched the trailer and then I started hearing this music and I'm like, and I'm like, this is going to suck because I'm not good with this stuff. But once you get into it, well, I kept on watching for Emily. I kept on watching to see what's going to happen with Emily, Gemma. You know, I mean, that kind of distracted me, which is kind of nice.
Okay.
But it's all dark. It's nice. But another nice thing about this movie, is this is a movie like 48 hours or another movie where you know it's going to be done in that amount of time. So at 13 hours, you're like, okay, this is going to be through the night, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. The movie can't be that long. But it's still 2 hours and 6 minutes long. It was a little long. They kind of like jumped around too much. They could have killed off people a lot quicker, but they kind of.
So you're finally saying it needed a little bit more murder.
No, I'm saying it needed a little less time. They could have compacted the murders.
Okay.
They could have
speed murder.
They could have speed murdered.
The speed murder round is my favorite round.
But the ending, there is a twist at the ending. There's something that you need to read into at the ending. In the ending, also.
Okay.
And then it goes to dark, goes to black, goes to credit. So that's what I have for you. So okay, so let me just say this before I give my little rating. You know what? If you want to watch this movie and you have 2 hours to burn, watch it. If you don't really want to watch it, then don't. That makes no sense either.
Wow,
I did
that is helpful.
I did terrible.
So if you want to watch a movie, you should watch it. If you don't want to watch a movie, don't watch it. I got it. That makes sense to me.
Gemma keeps all of her clothes on, but she does a good job of keeping them on.
So, what are you grading this one?
I'm going to give this a C+.
All right.
It's worth a watch, but not really.
Okay, so it's excessively mediocre.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, we're going to move now to Mike Exler.
That was awful.
Mike, you've been watching a new Netflix film, I believe, correct?
That is correct. It's a 2022 Netflix exclusive, Choose or Die. This does not... This comes in at 1 hour and 25 minutes.
Yes!
So,
sorry, too short.
No, it is not. Go ahead.
So
I'm sorry.
the basic plot of the film is, after firing up a lost 1980s survival horror game, a young coder unleashes a hidden curse that tears reality apart, forcing her to make terrifying decisions and face deadly consequences. So, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. It's a directorial debut of Toby Meekins. I'm not sure if you're going to see this Toby again, but he did this film.
One in a row.
Much of the film was shot in London, including Wembley and Holloway Prison. It's interesting, I guess. They decided to use a piece of the prison to look like apartment buildings. I don't weird.
Okay.
But there was a scene in the film that caught my attention. It's a digital clock on the wall, and it reads 11:38. And boy, did they leave that up there for a long time, like an awkwardly long time, that's showing you that the time was 11:38.
You know what that's a reference to?
Oh, yeah. I looked at it. It's a common Easter egg used in TV and movies to reference to George Lucas's directorial debut, THX 1138, 1971.
Yeah, it's actually a very good movie, too. I like that one.
It's... I looked it up, and the amount of... It's a laundry list of shit that this has been in. So it's a little factoid for you if you didn't know. That,
the more you know. I need to have that logo ready to go. The more you know.
So I talk about music a lot in films. This score is composed by Liam Howlett. He's one of the founders of The Prodigy. Anybody a The Prodigy fan here? Anybody?
I don't know them. What do they do?
They're industrial. Probably one of the songs you might have heard of is "Smack My Bitch Up." The news.
Oh, that's that new lullaby I go to bed by.
That's what my alarm wakes up to.
Yes. So he did the score, and you can definitely tell that he was behind the music of this. Very industrial, even to one point where old school modem sounds were worked into the score. And if you're a fan of The Prodigy, you will definitely dig it. So just wanted to point that out.
Hey, was there that one sound in there that Tim talks about all the time? That
Wilhelm scream?
Yeah, was there a Wilhelm scream in there?
That's nothing to do with industrial though.
Well, no, but it's a horror movie.
Okay.
I'm just curious.
And there was not.
Okay. All right.
Robert Englund is in the film, but he is in voice only. I'm not going to tell you.
How sweet, fresh meat.
I don't know who this person is or how they did this, but they had no problems in showing posters of Nightmare on Elm Street, using Freddy, using Robert Englund's name, using Freddy's name. So I found that to be interesting. And a movie that I never even really heard of on Netflix was able to use the rights to one of the biggest horror franchises ever. So I just thought that was interesting.
It wasn't made by New Line, was it? It was made by Netflix.
Netflix, yeah. I don't.
Huh.
No, I didn't see New Line anywhere on it, but
Interesting. Yeah, because they like to protect that one. That's an important
So the rest of the-
property.
yeah. So, but it's in there pretty deep. But the rest of the cast is filled with actors that have been in other films, and some big name films, but mostly bit parts. Nothing major. I think for the two main cast members, I think this was their first main role. The story is very interesting, I thought. It's not totally original as far as video games intersecting with reality, but the way that they went about it, I think it was pretty original, an original idea. So the only ding that I give this film is at some point the acting is pretty rough. It's not a detriment to the film, but it's definitely noticeable at times. It's just kind of like, come on. Especially if there's a long piece of dialogue. That's definitely not these people's strong suits.
Oh boy.
The effects were decent for the most part. Only a few times the CGI missed the mark, but again, for a Netflix original, it was pretty well done in that aspect, and also it looked really good. Definitely a high quality production.
Wait,
on this.
So they had decent lighting? Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Wow.
They definitely. So let me see.
Do you think they typed up the script prior to filming?
Probably, maybe even a couple copies.
Wow. Because we know Cannibal Killer Clowns didn't do that nonsense.
No.
There was no need. All right.
I thought the story arc was well thought out. The pacing definitely on point at an hour and 25 minutes. I mean, this isn't Shakespeare, so we definitely needed to get to the point and get to the payoff. There is a decent payoff at the end. They did leave it open for a sequel. According to ScreenRant.com, currently Netflix has made no announcement regarding Choose or Die 2. So I'm not sure if that.
Do you get the feel that a lot of people are checking this out? I'm guessing it just dropped. Are you hearing buzz on this one?
No, not dropped. Just dropped. It dropped in April.
Oh, I hadn't heard about it at all yet. So I'm kind of thinking probably didn't do too good.
Me either, because you messaged us and you're like, hey, I need your movie. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go look at one. And I had seen it in Netflix a couple times and just went over it. And I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. And so I watched it. But yeah, it came out in April. So I don't think if at this point, if they haven't announced it, that there's going to be a second.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready for grading?
Just one other point. It was fun seeing they had a whole bunch of old style video games akin to like the Oregon Trail and
nice.
things like that.
Okay.
It was just cool to see that kind of technology and everything.
That is cool. All right. Well, let's get to the grade book. Good Lord, I pressed the button. It takes forever. Look at this. Look at that. Okay. Here we go. What's your grade?
I'm going to give this one a B.
A B, a flat B is pretty good coming from Exler. Not bad.
It was again. It's a quick watch, and I think it's definitely worth a view. I don't think you'll be, terribly disappointed in the film.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, congratulations to the filmmaker. That might be the last we ever hear of them, but at least they got a B from Mike Exler.
Yay!
So that's big time. All right. Well, that leaves things to me, and I picked a film I like a lot more than the last film I did here on the show. Last time I did the show, I had The Reef Stalked, and right after I picked that movie, I was like, I've seen a lot better movies. Why don't I review one of those? So that's what I'm doing. I'm reviewing Train to Busan Presents Peninsula 2020. I'm not sure. You can get this on Prime Video, but I think it's considered a Shudder original or something. It's mainly found on Shudder in the United States. Who knows over there? But I was a fan of Train to Busan. It is in the fast zombies genre, which I guess now there's like two genres of zombies. There's fast zombies and there's slow zombies.
And voodoo zombies.
And well, there's not many of those. There are really not many of those. Serpent and the Rainbow. Then you're going back to Val Lewton. So I Walked with a Zombie, I think, is the other one I know off the top of my head.
Where's Busan?
Now, Busan, it's Korea, right? I think.
Yes.
I thought this was a Korea movie. Yeah, it's in Korea. And this is a standalone sequel to the movie that was made 4 years ago, Train to Busan, which is about a guy stuck on a train with lots of zombies. Okay? This movie, it follows a former soldier who is sent along with a team to retrieve a truck full of money from the wastelands of the Korean peninsula, now inhabited by zombies, rogue militia, and a family. Okay, that I took that directly out of Wikipedia. I did that for a reason. The movie, okay, the Batista movie, Army of the Dead, that Zack Snyder did. Isn't that the premise to that movie as well? Sending a team into the zombie-infested zone to go retrieve money?
Yes. It's the exact same premise.
So I was like, I'm watching this and I'm like, I wonder which one came first. But, and, you know, I think they shot almost at the same time. So the question is, okay, did they know about each other or, you know, but it's always funny to me when two movies kind of independently come to the same idea. It grossed $42 million on a $16 million budget. A lot of people found this inferior to the first film. Frankly, it's not quite as good as the original, but it isn't all that bad, and it's not far behind the original. The main premise does sound remarkably like Army of the Dead, but the structure of the film and the storyline is very different. The premise is the same, but not much else. By keeping the zombies contained, it does one thing that I know Mike wouldn't be a fan of. It kind of gives them hope. They have, I can escape to safety. Well, Exler, right? You like the hopelessness at the end of these things and just dismal death on these zombie films. This, the whole time you're like, well, if they make it over to the goal, you know, they're safe. So it does keep that. I'm still not a huge fan of the fast running zombies, but I like this in the Busan movies more than the Zack Snyder ones. And I figured out why this time. It's because the thing that Romero did with the slow-moving zombies, you get this feeling of just like a wave of humanity that's just unstoppable and keeps coming. In the Busan movies, that wave is coming. It's just coming at a much faster speed because there are times where like entire masses of these zombies like go through a wall like a big attacking armada and going through windows, that there's just so many people pushing against a window that it breaks. So that's pretty cool. Now, I watched I assume a dubbed version of the film. If it was dubbed, they did a fantastic job. I mean, it was. I was having a hard time telling if they shot in English or not.
Wow.
They did have some children characters in the film, but get this,
Children characters.
they didn't suck. Usually in these movies, it's like, let's put a kid in here so you can be frightened because the kid's going to be attacked by zombies. These children characters, they were kind of fun. And one of the characters, because they're living in the, the death zone or whatever you want to call it, it's a pretty young kid and has taught himself how to be one of the best drivers you've ever seen on film. They're like great. And I'm not talking great for a horror movie. I'm talking about great for an action movie chase sequences that are in here. And that's kind of my thing here is don't go to this movie and go, oh my God, I'm going to be so scared. This is not scary. So this is Jeff friendly.
Okay.
It's Jeff friendly.
Okay.
Because it's more of a fantasy adventure sci-fi thing. Now,
God.
there's very grisly action. There's some blowing heads off and all that sort of stuff. Lots of gunplay. But there really isn't suspense. And there isn't, oh no, what's going to happen? It's more action thrills than that slow building of dread that the world is coming to an end. No, it's let's go blow away some people and let's run them over with our truck. And we're going to make our way out. A lot of times I felt this was a lot like Wormwood, which I always called like Mad Max does a zombie film. This felt very Mad Max at points because there is a lot of driving that goes on. There is a gladiator scene in this film where it's a little bit like Thunderdome, to be quite honest.
Nice.
So I hadn't heard a lot about Peninsula. In fact, I found out about it because they were selling the DVD at Walmart for like $7.
Really?
And I looked at it, and it's that cover that you see that I put up on the screen, and I put it up there for a reason. It says Peninsula, and unless you're really looking, you don't know that it's part of Train to Busan. But it says right above Peninsula in kind of grayish letters, Train to Busan presents. So when I was trying to find this online, not everybody has Train to Busan presents. A lot of them just say Peninsula. So if you're looking for that, keep that in mind. It might just be on a Peninsula. Here's the thing. You do not at all, under any circumstances, have to see Train to Busan, because the only thing these movies have in common that I could tell is there were zombies in them. The feel of the movie, because it's the fast zombies that come as like a bunch of carpenter ants coming into war, it's very similar. It kind of reminds me of World War Z, where it's almost like they become this collective that attacks. But I enjoyed the movie a great deal more than I thought. I was kind of going, okay, it's kind of a... when I saw that it was Train to Busan Presents, I'm like, oh, great. This is a sequel. I don't remember the movie all that much, except for it was good. I didn't fall in love with the characters or anything. And, oh, great, it's this one. For all I know, some of these were the same characters. But I enjoyed the movie as a standalone. I enjoyed it more than I expected. I would say about 30% more than I could have even expected going into it. I enjoyed it a great deal. What? Sorry?
It's very specific.
It is, isn't it? 29.5% more.
Well, yeah. Now, Mike, you've seen...
Who says 30%?
I do.
I guess.
Sometimes they say 33% with 0.33 repeating. That means a third.
Isn't that, that's also an album, right? An LP. 33 and a third.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good.
I got a radio
Good
background. There you go.
Yeah, you used to cue records, right?
Yes, but go back onto your review. Back to your review, friend.
How many of you have seen Train to Busan? Mike's? Have either of you seen Train?
Well, don't ask me.
No, I'm not going to ask you.
How do you know it? Maybe
Okay.
I'm a closet.
Okay, I feel
Busan
like
fan.
wasting time. Let's do this. Jeff, have you seen Train to Busan?
I saw the American version, Zombieland.
Oh my god! All right.
I don't know. No, I have not
No,
seen it. Just
no.
for the record, everybody, I have not seen this.
Cieslak, have you haven't seen
I
Train,
have
right?
not.
Yeah,
It is on my watch list, but I just have not had a chance
I
to get
do
to it
recommend Train to Busan. This one, I go back and forth if I like this one more or not. I really enjoyed it, and that's why it's going to get, if the gray book ever shows up, there it comes. It gets an A-.
Wow.
Which
Nice.
that's a really high score. Now, again, go in knowing what you're seeing. This is not the long lost George Romero zombie film. This is not something that you're going to cry and, urinate in your pants seeing this thing.
Who does that?
Well,
Who does that? Who urinates while they're watching?
Guys, I'll tell you about Jeff's little problem later.
Yeah, okay, funny.
But it
Happened once, okay?
okay, yeah, it wasn't your fault. But it really is a fun movie. So if you're looking for an adventure, this is the type of movie you're going to want. If you're looking for, I want the scariest thing out there, move along, because this is not that movie. All right, it is time for us to do some talking about what we got going on the website. Eventually it'll pop up. There we go. Otherworldlyculture.com. We have 2 shows this week alone. We've been putting some articles out there. You're going to want to check them all out at otherworldlyculture.com. And our good friend Mike Cieslak is continuing to publish things at his website. You want to say something there, Mike?
We've got a couple more books coming out. Check us out at thedragonsroost.biz if you want to make a purchase of an ebook. And we will have a Kickstarter coming up for our newest anthology as soon as I get up off my butt and finish it.
So you do have the ebooks, which is great for
Yes.
me because I am in love with my new Kobo reader.
Okay.
Do you know what that is, Jeff?
No.
I'll show you later. It's like a e-ink reader. I just love this thing. Fantastic. And I can make the font the size I need.
Yes.
Because some of those self-published books sometimes have some pretty small type. And I am not ready for that anymore. I did that when I was in college. I don't need that anymore. I want big type.
Hey, Mike, what's a Kickstarter? What is that?
Oh, Lordy, we don't have that kind of time.
Okay.
We're raising funds to cover some of the publication costs
Okay.
for the new anthology, which is mostly finished. Waiting on cover art. It's all formatted, but I need to figure out the order the stories are going to go in. But we're raising money, and we're using computers to do it.
Great.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's-
cool.
And that's how
Thank you.
Miller Park was built. They said, we're going to build this stadium. Hey, everybody, contribute to the Kickstarter. And that's how that
Gotcha.
happened.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. And then
Whatever.
coming up, I don't know why you act that way. Coming up,
Ooh, I like
I hope. Yeah, there it goes. But I lost my cursor. There it goes. Horror Realm is coming up
Yes.
this March 2023. They already have a number of guest announcements that they have made. I just noticed that my tweet went out incorrectly. But Horror Realm is coming back. They are going to have one of the actors from The Thing.
Nice.
That's a huge get. And we'll be talking more about some of those guests as time goes by. And they will be out on their website, which is at www.horrorrealmcon.com. Not what I just put in the chat room, which is sad. Okay, so then we also need to talk about Dead on the Bases is coming back on Thursday.
Yep.
It's inning 3.
4. 3.
3. Yeah, we take them in order, Jeff. And I am going to be reviewing an incredibly long film by the name of Pride of the Yankees. And you are going to be reviewing?
The Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the original.
The original.
Nice.
He's already seen The Faculty and The Thing, so he's going to make connections all over the place.
Oh, okay.
I know it. So you haven't watched it yet, have you?
Uh-uh.
Oh, you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat. And that's coming on Thursday. Now, what's this one? This is just Horror Realm again, right? Yep. Why is things... I'm clicking buttons. Look at this. All right, well, that's not happening today. So we're just going to move back today. Everyone, come on. You see me pressing the buttons, right?
I
and
do.
it's just not doing anything. Okay.
Mike Exler, you have anything big coming up?
Nope.
Okay.
All right, so we got that out of the way.
Hey, we just want to make sure. Just checking the boxes.
He's like 500 books coming out. And Mike's like, yeah, I got nothing. Oh, God.
He's going to watch Night Wolf. I guarantee it.
Yeah, but Mike is coming back. No. Mike is coming back for our next episode of Den Up Movie Reviews. That's coming right around the corner. Keep track of us on the schedule that you can find on the website. Remember, you can check us out on social media. We're either otherworldly culture or what is it on it's
I
radio?
was the one that was drinking, remember?
Yeah, Otherworldly Radio.
You lucky SOB.
On Twitter. Otherworldly Radio on there. So I don't know why we have that there. If you'd like to send emails to our folks, just use their first name and otherworldlyculture.com. We still haven't figured out what to do with Cieslak. You got to send me an email that we can connect up to yours. But what are we going to make you? Because we already got a mic. And it'll be confusing if we make a Mike and a Michael. We'll have to figure that out. That'll be like a whole event in itself. But you're Jeff at Otherworldly Culture. I'm Tim. And Mike Exler is Mike at Otherworldly Culture.
Mike it?
Mike.
Oh, because it sounded like you said Mike it.
No, it did not.
It did, but all right.
You don't. Oh, my God.
Also be Ecom.
Eat a Cheeto.
You should be what?
Ecom.
Ecom?
It's Mike backward.
Yeah, I like that.
No.
Don't encourage it. Don't encourage it.
Mr.
All right.
Mr. Helpful.
No, yeah, Mr. Helpful. That would be good. That would be good. We want to wish everybody a fun and safe Halloween because not every one of us is going to be on again before Halloween on this program. So everybody, hope you have fun, be safe, and try to scare bodily fluids out of your neighbors. It's always a good time. Report them to the authorities. Tell and say, I hear screaming next door. I believe there's some domestic abuse. Do whatever to have a good time.
Do we have a quick minute?
Yeah, we have all the time we want.
Because real quick, I actually did that one time to a person. I made
you domestically abused somebody?
No, I made them pee.
You made them pee.
Yeah, so we would set up my parents' house. We'd get it all ready for Halloween, right? And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hide behind this bush. So I'm hiding behind this bush with like a mask on of something. And when a kid would come up, I would jump out and scare him, right? Well, this poor little girl, I don't know, she could have been 5 or whatever. She's coming up.
Oh my God!
And
you bully!
I did. I jumped out and I scared her, and all of a sudden she just peed. I felt so bad after I did it. But yeah, that's the end of the story. But yeah, I did that. I actually made someone pee once. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you fit in more than we thought to the show.
Yeah.
And I actually think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
All right.
I felt terrible.
The kid is just psychologically scarred.
Probably.
This is not an issue.
Probably.
This is not an issue.
Probably.
Sorry, Mike? Well, Mike.
I said kids are resilient. They'll be fine.
Yeah, they're resilient.
He's probably doing some pole dancing right now.
Mike, didn't you used to do something for Halloween where you were messing with the kids that came up or something?
Yeah, I used to. My dad has an old Victorian house and used to enclose the wraparound porch and make it a haunted house that they'd have to go through to get candy.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was fun. It became like a neighborhood event. It was good times.
And I heard more than 95% of them survived.
More than 90. Oh, that's good. More than.
So I cannot comment due to the lawsuits.
That was a problem. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. We want to thank you all. And when you aim at horror, make sure you are dead on. See you next time. How that's loud again. Good times. Thanks everybody for coming out tonight.
Thank you.